Hello guys, welcome to a new video, and in this video we are going to start this mega lab that we have over here. And as you can see, we are going to configure a site-to-site with pre-share key between these two routers. Then we are going to have a AnyConnect um, VPN connection from this router over here. And then this router is also going to have a clientless connection for this browser over here. And on this other firewall over here, we are going to have another AnyConnect connection to connect this Windows device, and then this one is going to have a clientless connection to this um, firewall over here. So, and then what we're going to configure is we are going to configure a DNS server and attack server. So we're going to do everything we have done. So if we go to the, let's go ahead and go to the official certification. And this is just Cisco telling you that you have until February 23rd. I want to complete this in 3 more months. I should be able to take my test and be done with it. So what we're going to go over is all the labs that we have done all the way from section 1 all the way to section 3. So we are going to do all these labs that I have done, but it's not going to be one video. So I'm going to do multiple videos, and I'm going to configure all the labs that I have done just to make sure that I refresh my mind with all the labs and I don't forget about them. But on another video, in the next video, I'm going to configure some multi-privilege levels and some Cisco role-based CLI access. And also, I'm going to implement res, resilient configuration. So that's going to be in this um, big lab. And I'm probably going to implement Ospf authentication as well, because that's what we're going to do in this video. But not authentication, we're just going to set up the clear OSPF for now. So let's go ahead and do that, guys. So we're going to start with ASA1. So ASA1, we can just go enable. Let's go to config G. Let's say no. Let's configure our host name, and this one is going to be ASA1. And ASA1 is going to have two outside interfaces or two interfaces facing the internet, which is gigabit 0 and gigabit 01. And then on the inside is going to be gigabit 02. Okay, and they have different IP address. So let's go ahead and configure those. The first one is going to be 00, which is going to be internet, facing internet, so the outside. It's going to have an IP address of 145.1.1.1. And then we have to give it a name. And this name if is going to be internet 1, now shut down. Then we're going to go to gigabit 01. And this one is going to have an IP address of 145.1.2.1. Now shut down. This one is going to have internet 2, or actually is a name if. Now shut down, and then let's go ahead to gigabit 02, and this one is going to be the inside network over here. So IP address of 172.16.1.1 slash 24. Oops, that's not, there we go. The name if for this one is going to be inside. Now shut down. Then after that, we need to configure the HTTP server. So we have to enable it. Then the HTTP, we need to provide access to 172.16.1.0. So I want to provide access to this network coming from the inside. So anybody within this network, which is TACAX and the ASDM, is going to have access to the HTTP server and nobody else. So nobody from the internet can go ahead and connect to this firewall using HTTP. So that's what I was doing right here. And then after that, what we could do, we can just go ahead and configure router Spf. 1 network is going to be 172.116.1.0. And the OSPF on the ASA, you don't have to configure, it doesn't take a wildcard mask. You have to actually configure a regular subnet mask, which is really odd. I found it really odd. I don't know if you guys would, but it is odd because on the routers it takes both, but they prefer you to do a wildcard mask. So now let's add 145.1.1.0, area 0. And then we need to add network 145.1.2, which is this one right here. And this one is the one that's going to the router number 2 over here. So that is done. Let's go ahead and end it. Let's go ahead and save it. I think I'm done with the configuration. So let's go ahead and configure router 1. Config T. Let's give it a host name, right? So we know what we are configuring. Let's configure the interfaces. Gigabit 0. Let's go ahead. Let's start with 02, which is the one facing this Windows device over here. IP address 192.168.1.1. Now shut down. Then we have to go to gigabit 01, which is this one over here, 146. 146.1.2.0. Now shut. Oop, bad mask. IP address 146.1.2.0. Oops, that 1.2.2. There you go. Now shut down. Now shut down. And then we have configured 02, 01. Let's go ahead and configure 00 and then 03. And this one, the one facing the firewall, which is going to be 145.1.1.2. Now shut down. Then we need to add 03, which is the one facing router 2. And this one is 150. 150.1.1.1. Now shut down. And now we have configured all of them. So let's go ahead and configure router Ospf, price ID of 1. Ospf. We're gonna add the network 150.1.1.0. 255 area 0. And then we are going to add, let's see, we are going to add, let's actually go down. We're going to add network 145.1.1.0. And this one should become friends. There we go. We form a neighbor relationship with the ASA. So that's good. And now let's go ahead and configure another network. And let's go ahead and configure the 192 network. So we have configured this one, the 150. Now let's go ahead and configure the 146. So network 146.1.2.0. Wildcard mask, right? Area 0 for all of them. So we have configured all of them. So if we go end it, let's go ahead and save it. Now let's go ahead to the firewall, and if we do a show route OSPF, we can see that we have learned 3 routes for 3 different networks, 146, 150, and 192. So that's good with OSPF. So this is done. We can just save it. I think I did already, so that's good. Now, what I want to do is, let's go ahead and configure the other side. And this other side, let's make it smaller. Well, let's put it right here maybe. Let's just put it right here for now so we can configure the router. Let's configure router 2 first. Config T, hostname, R2. And let's configure all those interfaces. So let's start with interface gigabit 00. And 00 is the one facing the ASA. IP address of 146.1.1.2. Now shut down. Then let's go to 1. And 1 is the one 145.1.2.2. So 145. Make sure it is correct. There we go. 145.2.2.2. Now shut down. And then we can go to, if we go to gigabit 0. So I did 0. Let me see. I did 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. Now let's go to 02, and 02 is the one in the 198 network. 198.168.1.2.1. Now shut down, and then let's go ahead to gigabit 03 and configure that IP address of 150.1.1.2. Now shut down. Now let's go ahead and go to router OSPF and configure OSPF, just like I did back in the days with the CCNA. Not back in the days, not too long ago. And then the first one is 00, so it's 146.1.1.0. Wildcard mask 255 area of 0. The next network is gigabit 01, which is 145.1.2.0 area of 0. And then the next network is going to be 02. You can see we form a adjacency with the ASA. So that means that it's working correctly. So let's go ahead and configure network on gigabit 02, which is 192.168.2.0.0. Actually, it's a wildcard mask. I always forget. Area 0. And then let's go ahead and configure the one to the router. And this one should form a neighbor relationship as well. Or it should. There we go. We have formed a neighbor relationship, so that's good. And save it. And then from the router, we can do a show IP or show IP routes or SPF. And we can see that we have learned all these routes, different routes using OSPF, right? Great. So now let's go ahead and configure the firewall. So let's go ahead to this firewall. Now what we need to do, go ahead and enable config T, no hostname of ASA 2. Let's go ahead and configure the first interface, gigabit 00. And this interface is going to be 00 is going to be to the internet, and it's 146.2.1 or that 146.1.2.1. IP address 146.1.2.1, 255.255.255.0. Name if internet, or actually internet 1. And then let's go ahead and configure gigabit. Actually, let's do a no shutdown, even though I believe it is up, but you never know. Let's go ahead and configure gigabit 01, IP address of 146.1.1.1. Now shut down. Name if is going to be internet 2. Now let's go ahead and configure gigabit 02, which is the inside network. IP address of 172.16.2.1. Name if internet. Now shut down. Exit. Now let's go ahead and enable HTTP server. And we're going to enable it for HTTP 172.16.2.0. Only for the inside network. Why it's not taken inside? Let's see, gigabit 02. Name if, oh, I configured this internet. That's not supposed to be internet. If we go back to gigabit 02, name if inside. We go. Now exit. Let's go to the HTTP server and enable it inside. And now let's go ahead and configure router SPF. Press ID 1 network. The network is the first one that I want to configure is gigabit 00, 146.1.2.0. And all of this should be able to form a relationship with all of them. And let's configure the other network, which is 146.1.1.0 area of 0, right? Yep, that's correct. And then let's configure network 172.16.2.0 area of 0. So we have configured all three interfaces, and let's save it. Show route Ospf. There we go. So we have learned all these routes, and so we can verify that we are able to ping to that we have connectivity. We should just ping everybody. So the first one that I want to ping is 192.168.2.1, which is from router 2. Now let's go ahead and ping 146.1.1.2 from router 2. You should also be able to ping 150.1.1.2 from router 2, and the other one is ping 145.1.2.2. There we go. So we're able to ping everything from router 2. Let's verify router 1. Ping 192.168.1.1, and then ping 150.1.1.1, then ping 146.1.2.2, then ping 145.1.1.2. Great. Now let's go ahead and ping the firewall and see we're able to ping the firewall. 145.1.2.1, ping 145.1.1.1, ping 172.16.1.1, and I'm not able to ping the inside network because it is the inside network and it is the private network. So that's why we're not able to ping um, that inside network because we're not allowed to do that, right? The firewall is not allowing us to do that. So that's why we're not able to do that, okay? So this is it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. And on the next video, what we're going to do is we are going to do some usernames, privilege level, and we also might configure the TACAX server, and we are going to enable a password on all the devices. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next one. And if you guys do not follow me on Twitter, please go ahead and follow me on Twitter. If you have a Twitter account at CCNA Daily Tips. And if you do not have a Twitter account, hey, go ahead and make one. I know you have a email account, so let's go ahead and create a Twitter account and then follow me on Twitter at CCNA Daily Tips. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one, guys. Bye bye.